Welcome to another edition of Distilleries, Breweries, and Wineries of the World. I'm Michael Stewart, America's #1 wino. Joined to my right by Randy Weckerly, the CEO of the Distillery Channel.com.
Yeah, I just poured a full cup of water out of my keyboard. How are we doing so far? And we haven't had a drop to drink yet. If I want to cut my wine, all I do is I take my keyboard, I hold it up, pour it in a glass.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten going yet.
I dropped my.
We are live from the bottle shop in downtown Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
what a beautiful place, and this time of the year,
it's
gorgeous
fantastic.
down here. It's gorgeous.
It's a cool place here too, and happy to be here.
We've got a great lineup on today's show. We've got a guest coming in. Beer Lovers, Wisconsin. Kathy Flanagan is coming in. She wrote the book on beer in Wisconsin.
Hard to believe they found any beer lovers in Wisconsin.
She had to search high and low.
Well, no, not really.
we just go to a Packer game.
Well, I don't know how we do this. Well, Kara and I just had lunch with the head of the Wisconsin Brewery Association.
This wonderful.
We found out some cool things about that.
Well, we'll talk about that.
We'll get to it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we also have an edition of Booze, It's a Crime.
No.
Is coming up. Yep. You're going to love that. And we also have the 10 Wisconsin restaurants with spectacular views.
Really?
Yes.
That's
we're
cool.
Have that on there. Ooh. And a bunch of other news and trivia.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
so there we go. We got all that coming up.
Yeah.
And
I wonder how many of those supper clubs you and I have been in.
There are some on this list. If you want to go start with this list,
you
got anything else? Okay,
no. Let's just go into that. I'm curious.
Let's start with this list because we've got, like I said, we've got Kathy Flanagan who wrote the book Beer Lovers, Wisconsin. I'm sure she's been to
a lot of research went into that book.
I would say, yeah. Okay,
and wait a minute.
Yeah,
one of the cool things about being in doing this show, we had to import just a little bit of music. Okay. It's a beer evening. We're doing a beer tasting. And this is live from Munich in the Hofbrauhaus.
Yeah.
I pumped it in just for us. I got a connection across the pond.
Okay.
And this is
I like this.
Yeah, I've been there. I had the lederhosen.
Did you really?
I bought it with the whole thing. The knee socks. You get the big beer steins. And when you walk into the place on the right-hand side, so when you and I go play golf, we have a locker room for golfing. They have a locker room for drinking. And they all, seriously.
Really?
So you've seen these big steins, you wonder what anybody does with the Christmas gift? Yeah, absolutely. You walk in there, they unlock the beer stein, and they pull them out. And, they're ready to go. So they got their lederhosen on. And
so they each have their own mug.
They each have their own 24-ounce to 36-ounce beer stein. Wow. And it's all in that white porcelain. I mean, that's how they say. And the maids they bring around 6 in each hand, and regular beer mugs. and these are not Twiggy. These women that are handing out your beer.
Right.
Let me draw the picture for you. Okay. You get a plate of food this big because everything in Germany is bigger, and it's full of 5 pounds of gravy. You got Wiener Schnitzel on there. You got some fried potatoes on there.
Right. And the sausages and everything else. Yeah.
Sausage fest.
Yeah.
You then order beer. Now, the beer is warm. And they have an Oompa band playing in the corner. Okay. Just like this is an Oompa band, really from the Hofbrauhaus. Okay.
All right.
And you get in there, and the more beer that you drink and the more food that you eat, you find out why you're going to be singing and dancing, or in German that would be dancen und singen.
Singing?
And the night we were there the last time, true story, they had World Cup soccer. Manchester United was there.
And those guys are just nuts.
If they could not order any beer if they could only order by the number of teeth they had, because they're crazy. They're absolutely crazy. And we were partying with Manchester United,
right?
And these guys are like always looking for a fight. Yeah, it was crazy. So we eat all this heavy food. We drink all this warm beer. I got the lederhosen on, And a guy comes over and he says, "Here, you qualify for this," and he gave me one of those big steins.
Really?
Yeah. So I became an official. Well, Weckerly, that's where the name comes from.
Some of those things you need 2 hands.
Oh, 2 hands?
Yeah.
I got back to the bed that night. We walked 4 blocks with Manchester United, singing that we were now an official, partier. And I get back to the room. I told my wife at the time, I said, my stomach is going to fall 4 floors right through this bed. Oh, God. So anyway, yeah. So here we're at a beer drinking.
The only thing I have from Germany is I've got a cuckoo clock with a guy on it that has a stein.
Yeah.
He's at a table, and every time he goes like this with the stein every hour. Oh. So there you go.
Well, it was
That's
fun.
all I've got.
Yeah, Munich was a great. God, it was a great trip. We had fun. The food is not light.
Oh gosh,
no. Anyway,
Germany. Oh,
so here we're going to experience beer
listen.
drinking in Lake Geneva.
In Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. So let's go with some of the top 10 Wisconsin restaurants with spectacular views.
All right.
Number 1. These aren't in any particular order, I don't think. Waterfront restaurant, Sister Bay. Brilliant sunsets are a nightly affair in Door County. So it's up in Door County, northeast peninsula of Wisconsin. Then we have the Gray's. It's called Gray's Restaurant in Madison, located on Capitol Square in downtown Madison and inspired by New York City's gastropub scene. There you go. Dublin Sports Bar and Grill in Conover. Just 10 minutes south of the UP, Michigan-Wisconsin border, lies in Northwoods town of Conover. Dublin Sports and Bar is a fine casual spot. They've got a beautiful view of the lake. Ishnala.
Oh, yeah.
How about that? We've been to Ishnala.
Table 15.
Lake Delton. It's been dubbed Wisconsin's #1 supper club.
Table 15, by the way.
And it's easy to see why. Ishnala will translate. It translates into by itself alone. It's situated in the middle of Mirror Lake State Park, and you can actually canoe or kayak right up to the storied log cabin eatery.
And I found it.
Yeah,
we've been there.
That's beautiful.
Bob brought us some beautiful wine that night. We did our show out in the back and had that big, tall, whatever. What do they call that drink? It was.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it was good.
Yeah. Well, I got a story I found out about there that they don't let out.
Where, Ishnala?
Ishnala. Okay. Yeah, they don't promote it. But
Wisconsin's #1 supper club. Yeah. What are they?
So I've been doing the research on the alcohol.
And you got to drive down a
winding road,
1-lane windy road just to get to it. It's the middle of the woods.
Yeah, and their business this past year was record-setting. They opened up early and closed late.
Wow.
But anyway, I was doing this research on Al Capone.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Now, they will not mention it, nor will they talk about it. That was his favorite hangout.
Well,
of course. Look where it is.
Yeah.
Back in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of no place.
Yeah.
So nobody can sneak up on you.
Not at all, but it was absolutely one of his preferred, happiest places. So, we're talking. But in there, they have no reservations. Okay?
Right.
And if anybody wants to go, wait if you're on a date for table 15. That's in the corner, and it's the only corner table they have for 2 people. And if you're going to ask somebody to get married or whatever, table 15, it's renowned. It's the 2-seat.
And they've got a balcony, upstairs, downstairs bar.
Yeah.
A balcony overlooking the lake. You can just throw a pebble down in the water.
Yeah. Their history. I mean, Bob has a long history reaching the Hoffman brothers. They go back to World War II. A great place.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, we'll get to some more of these 10 Wisconsin restaurants with spectacular views, but that's one of the best. And we'll be back with more on distilleries, breweries, and wineries of the world. We're live from the Bottle Shop in downtown Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
I wonder if we get a beer in between.
I'm just got some water here. What do we got?
I don't know.
Welcome back to Distilleries, Breweries, and Wineries of the World. I'm Michael Stewart, America's #1 wino, and on my right is Randy Weckerly with the distillerychannel.com.
Yes,
and
I'm still here.
We've got a special guest coming in. It's Kathy Flanagan from, she wrote the book on beer in Wisconsin. But before we get to her, you have another special guest that you want to talk to.
It's been a crazy day, but yes, I do. We're going to talk to him here in just a minute. Live from around the corner.
I want to take some time to stop by the bottle shop in between my new movie that came out last night. I'm not even sure I'm in it because I wanted to come to the bottle shop and have a couple of beers. My friend Michael Stewart and Randy Weckerly will be hosting you along with Kira Peterson. And when you're done doing the show about beer, come to the movies and hold my hand.
couldn't believe he was in town.
That's amazing, you know.
I went over there and he's holding a box of popcorn.
Yeah.
He's trying to look for his son.
Yeah.
He's claiming I was his son. I said, no, not at all. I guess he's lost his son.
All right.
Saying I'm your father.
We are live at the Bottle Shop in downtown Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and our guest now is Kathy Flanagan. And good old Irish name, huh?
Figures, doesn't it?
And she wrote the book. She literally wrote the book, Beer Lovers, Wisconsin. The best breweries, brew pubs, and beer bars. What a great...
I bet the research was
that's the first question out of the...
Okay,
that's
we're all about
question.
Research.
We're all about... Let's see, how did this idea come about, and what kind of research
and we will burn the tapes at the end of the show.
Yeah. I know you can't see it, but my liver has that chair over there.
Okay.
It's a little enlarged. It no longer fits with me. I write about beer, the culture of craft beer for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel.
Okay.
And
you should have seen that one ad.
And the publishers of...
She beat out another 6,000 people in line, right?
Yeah. Earn $6.25 a week. Do you drink beer? All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Just about that.
Yeah.
And the people who publish Beer Lovers Wisconsin, it's a regional publication. They do them all over. And they said, we've never done Wisconsin, which surprised me. Would you do it? And I said, yeah, sure. That'd be fun. So essentially, this is how I spent a summer vacation.
When was this? When was it?
I did the summer. The research was all the summer of 2016. And then the book was delayed quite a bit. But in the delay, we also got in some up-to-the-minute Milwaukee breweries because I cover them on a daily basis, so it was easy to get them in.
Now, were you able to go to some of these festivals where they have? I've been to some places where, God, I had one in Colorado where you came together. There were like 70, small brew pubs, all in one spot, and what you could do a lot of research in one day there.
Well, the Great Taste of the Midwest is in Madison.
Okay.
It's the second Saturday of every year, and that's like 500 breweries from across the Midwest.
Wow!
You have a chance to drink more than 1,000 beers. No one leaves sober.
Isn't that the second? Is it the second Saturday in August?
In August.
August, yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
But you have to buy your tickets. You stand in line for your tickets the second Saturday in May.
Yeah.
Which I've done overnight.
Really?
Yeah. I was just talking to Mark Galway, who is the head of the Wisconsin. We just had lunch with him Wednesday. He was telling me about that. So.
It's a great festival. And people look forward to it. I mean, you do in order to get your tickets, you either stand in line and get them at different locations in Madison, or you put it's a mail lottery.
How many people? They cut off the amount of people that come.
They do. So the place where I stand in
to?
line. So I think there are 6 places. The place where I stand in line, which is on Williamson Street, which I've done twice now. They give out 200. Wristbands.
But I mean, how many people attend?
You know what? I can't tell you the exact number. Everybody who stands in line can get two tickets each. So it's pretty strict. Oh yeah, it's got to be thousands.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So so you went to the small to the large? I mean, your book from the microbreweries to the millers.
Well, that's one of those things where when you're going to start the research, you're like, well, how do we start? And my husband said at the top. So we went to.
I'm showing your book to the
Ashland
audience.
And Superior, and then came down. But Superior has a Thirsty Pagan is a brew pub with a great selection of sour beers, and that brewer just went over to a brand new brewery that just opened this month called Earth Rider, and then just moved our way down and sideways and all different ways. And I think we went to they're probably 100. There are more than 160 breweries in the state
165,
now.
Mark told me Wednesday. Yeah, so you're right on the spot. Yeah.
Wow. You know what? We talk about ingredients for a second because I have, at the end of my driveway, I found out a couple of years ago, hanging off of a tree were some hops. I didn't even know they were there. And my son goes, hey, you've got hops here. And he goes like this, and he rubs them, and he says, smell. Sure enough, it was like an IPA.
I bought some hops at a yard sale, and I don't know what kind they are, but they're really hard to grow decently. But if you ignore them, they'll take over.
Well, these have, and I just let them go. I said, well, come over. My son, I said, come over and pick them. You can brew some beer, home homebrew.
So
Did he?
Did you
Yes,
do
he
a
did.
top 10 or top 15? Or
Yeah,
did
you got-
I did not. And everyone always asks me my favorite, and really I don't have a favorite. I have some places that I really like to go, but I think you have a chance of getting a favorite beer every time you go out.
Yeah.
So it's laid out like the different areas.
Yes, it's laid out regionally. Yes.
Milwaukee, Appleton, Lake Geneva, all the places in Wisconsin here. Homebrew stores where you can get supplies, things like that. The Green Bay, Northwest.
Definitely,
it's really
definitely
cool.
going to get one of those to have on our corporate table.
Yeah, no
It'll be our
kidding.
new Bible.
It really was interesting and informative to me because even though I write about beer all the time, and I also help put together a list of the Journal Sentinel has a list called Beer Near. It's an interactive, and it will tell you every brewery in the state, and also the address, and it'll link to their website and their hours, and that's easier to update because it's online.
Okay.
But I use that to get around the state too. So
Is that an app that you can get on your phone?
it's an interactive. It's not quite an app yet, but you can bookmark it to your phone, which is what I did.
Yeah.
And people are so kind. They write and tell me, I've been to this new one. Like there's one I haven't been to in Monroe called Aquarian, and
I've got your next book.
What's that?
You know what that is? Recipes.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
there are a couple in here, but not
Beer
for
recipes.
beer. Yeah, beer recipes.
Beer recipes.
Yeah, that'd be
To go
popular.
along, that's your second edition.
Home brewers love that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so here's what we're doing.
What?
Michael does a new announcement. We have an RDN dietitian out of Florida. So you live so close, we're going to start a new show, and it's going to be called, can't announce it yet, but we are.
Yeah.
I'm the executive producer. So have you come over and do a beer pairing, and I'm going to cook in my kitchen. And
Okay.
we'll put it on camera, and Dina from Florida is going to tell us why it's going to be healthy, except we have to have either beer or wine or alcohol with every dinner. So it could be a beer pairing.
People say beer actually pairs better, as good as or better than wine, which I believe because there are more tastes to beer than there are to wine.
Okay.
So it pairs very well with food.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. We're running out of time, and she's got to go sign some autographs.
I
but,
do.
Okay. All right. Well, it was great having you here.
Thank you
and
for
where can
having
you go
me.
to get it online for people around the country and around the world?
Barnes & Noble and Amazon.com have
All right. And it's Beer Lovers Wisconsin by Kathy Flanagan. And we'll be back with more on distilleries, breweries, and wineries of the world.
We are definitely going to have you over for cooking.
Yeah, no kidding.
A little beer.
That'd be awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Welcome back to Distilleries, Breweries, and Wineries of the World. I'm Michael Stewart, America's #1 wino, and on my right is Randy Weckerly with the DistilleryChannel.com, and this is our news and new products segment.
Yeah.
And,
I'm looking forward to that.
Got some good booze news coming up.
I want to get that job where you go, hey, write a book about going and...
Yeah.
What? I saw an ad in the paper.
We just interviewed Kathy Flanagan wrote the book Beer Lovers Wisconsin.
That's sweet.
And I like your idea of doing a beer pairing, with food and having recipes and have a whole segment on that. Or
What
whole,
I did
whole
get
show.
Yeah, what I get a chance to tell her, I've got this book that two authors that did beer pairings written in 1996. They're now about 85 years old. So I called one today, and I've got the book.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
and the recipes are outstanding, but it's what to put in beer. So
Okay.
anyway,
All right.
I was doing research.
Yes. Research. Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, let me finish up before we get
Yeah.
to. We're going to be talking about a little wine,
Yeah.
sommelier,
Yeah.
and. But first, I want to finish up with some of these. The 10, since we had on Beer Lovers Wisconsin, she wrote the book. Here's some more of the 10 Wisconsin restaurants with spectacular views. All right, let's finish some of these. Harbor House, Milwaukee. It's with Milwaukee's downtown skyline and Lake Michigan as your backdrop. Gorgeous views. How about the Nelson Stone Barn in Nelson, Wisconsin, tucked away in the rolling hills of the Driftless area? You know the Driftless area?
Do you know what it is? Do you know what driftless means?
It's like where the
Glacier
stop.
Yeah.
Or it
So Devil's Lake.
missed.
Go to Devil's Lake, all the big boulders are there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
driftless.
Nelson Stone Barn is full of rustic glamour. Bring the family to this unique outdoor dining destination which serves up delightful wood-fired pizza and surrounding views of the Mississippi River Valley.
Bro, sounds great.
All right. Here's one. Afton Hudson Cruise Lines in Hudson, Wisconsin, for an unforgettable dining experience along the St. Croix River. They have a Hudson cruise, yeah. Pat O'Malley's Jet Room Restaurant, Madison. You've probably been there, haven't you?
Maybe.
In that area. Dane County Regional Airport?
Yeah.
It's located there?
Yeah.
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Flew out of there many times at 3:30 in the morning.
All right. They've poured you into your seat, right?
I'm going to tell you, there are not a lot of people at the airport at that time. But
Yeah.
if you want to go to Hawaii, you're going to be at the airport at 3:30. And I tell you what, if you get up at 3:30,
Yeah.
you're going to be in Maui at 3:30 your body time the next day, 24 hours.
Wow.
Almost to the minute.
Vino in the Valley.
Yeah.
Maiden Rock, Wisconsin. Good vino, good view, good vibes. Located along the Mississippi River in Maiden Rock. There you go. And a last one, Shiflets. Of the 10, these are all the 10 best restaurants with the best views in Wisconsin. Shiflets Bar and Riverside Grill, Spring Green, Wisconsin, where the famous Spring Green, what do they have? They do Shakespeare out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they
Isn't
have
Spring Green, don't
House
they have
on the
some,
Rock?
They got some good golf courses.
And
around
they've
there?
got a beautiful resort. Yeah.
Lawsonia? Isn't
Yeah.
Lawsonia there?
No.
No?
Just no. Spring Green.
Spring Green?
Yeah, Spring Green. Set on the banks of Wisconsin River, but this is also on the banks of Wisconsin River in Spring Green is where they have the nude beaches.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Why?
Hey, look at this.
Which is why it's a great.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
We got to do more of these. Cheers.
Which is
what
why
I
it's a
get.
great tubing area because they've got nude beaches. All right.
Do
Anyways,
that. Let's drink.
yeah, let's. Okay, so that's it for your Wisconsin bars. What else we got going on here? Let's talk about this. You were talking about a sommelier.
Yeah, I was looking up
Is
today.
it sommelier? Is that-
Sommelier.
Sommelier. Okay.
First thing I had to do was try to figure out how to figure it out to do the research.
Okay.
And so I asked Siri on my phone, what is sommelier? And she came up with simple gay guy.
Okay.
I was like,
All right.
no.
Yeah, no.
So she couldn't translate it. So I finally got it. So basically, sommelier is that guy that walks around with those little tin cups on his front.
Yeah.
Gives you a little snitch. What did you come up with? Because I'm going to
No, that's what I had.
Yeah.
I remember when I about 12 years ago when I was doing a radio show down in Mississippi, I at one resort I ran into a sommelier, and at that time there were only 53. I remember because he said I ran into one at this resort. And there were only 53 of them, and he told me about how you have to do all these courses and everything else to be able to be one, and they're just wine experts basically.
Well,
that's what they are. They know what to pair stuff with and all that other stuff.
the really good sommeliers
Yeah.
that have downtown Chicago jobs. It's a lot of study, and you're going to be drinking a lot of wine, and you can start at the bottom at like any hometown.
You can end at the bottom drinking all that wine.
It's a long road, and if you're really good, you can make over $100,000 a year just telling people what they should drink. But it's a tough job. Yeah.
Well, here there's one some SOMM Talks, some Talks, Sommelier Talks.
Yep.
Wine Talks is one of the first audio wine books.
Yeah.
That's going to be available. It probably is available online. The audiobook has 13 conversations that average 30 to 40 minutes with 10 wine tasting interviews with sommelier for podcasts. We feel the best way to educate consumers on wine today is through live conversations around a table full of wine glasses.
Yeah.
So what they do is the chapters in these in this book, it's how to buy wine you like in stores and in wine clubs. Ways to serve and store wine, the best stemware to use, handling and storing for aging or just for tomorrow, debunking wine myths, styles of wine distinguished by body and flavor, and the fundamentals of food and wine pairing. This is all in these audio books. They're all audio books. They're going for about, you can get them on Amazon, about $29.95.
Right.
So,
well, the thing is, I think it takes, and again, what I read about it, it takes, you can go to Italy, you can go to France, you can go to Germany, you can go to Venezuela, Brazil, and do all of these, really learn deeply. It's just, I think it's like it's a niche, trivia.
Right.
You're going to go and you're going to taste quite a bit. So, anyway.
All right.
I did find one quick item here, though. Right. There are, since we're in doing a beer tasting, what level of sobriety are you right now, Michael?
I did that. I did the breathalyzer. Now, I have not drunk anything, and it got me at 0.08. That's why those things aren't reliable.
At .08.
.08.
You can't drive anymore.
I haven't had a drop to drink.
That's the the heading, the Illinois State Trooper, I'm going to screw you. Breathalyzer, you know.
I'm telling you. You got to, you know what? I wouldn't trust those things.
Well, the fun, when I have seen that before, and I'm going to get back to these probably in the next segment, but down at South by Southwest in Austin, a big festival where they have some recreational, medicinal other things.
Right.
They actually have the state cops there with breathalyzer as they walk out. And what they showed is that the first drink normally doesn't even register. That was really fascinating. So they would bring people up on stage and take this drink, straight, 1 ounce, take it. They waited a few minutes, breathe in.
What's fascinating is
nothing showed up.
What's fascinating is I had nothing to drink and I blew a .08.
Well,
now how does that happen?
Well, you're a golfer. Maybe back last June when you missed the birdie putt, you got a little overserved and it hasn't worn out good.
It's that chili from last night.
Yes,
it's fermenting in my.
Yes, Lonnie. All right, just quickly here.
Right.
I'm going into my Johnny Carson for whatever reason. There are 7 stages of sobriety. First one is sobriety. You're not drunk.
Okay.
Second is euphoria. Okay, have a glass of wine and you're going to feel good. Third one is excitement. That would be your Friday night. I don't know what you want to call it, but
Right.
After that, fourth is confusion. Okay, are you confused? Fifth is stupor. You're just
stupor.
Okay, that's sort of our show. And then the next level of our show is coma. And the final phase of drinking is, are you ready? Death. We'll be right back. Hopefully, we're not in that stage.
Welcome to Distilleries, Breweries, and Wineries of the World. Booze. It's a crime.
To protect the innocent.
We're protecting the innocent here, Michael.
I'm Michael Stewart, America's #1 wino. And on my right is Randy Weckerly with the distillerychannel.com. And this is Booze, It's a Crime. Why don't you lead us off?
I'm a detective for Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Patrol on the street. Again, man who used a taco as his ID. HuffingtonPost.com. Matthew Faulkner managed to pay the cashier and get his tacos one night, and that's when the fun seemed to stop. From Jensen Beach, Florida. After passing out in his car while in the drive-thru line at Taco Bell, cops approached Faulkner's car after the engine caught fire. How bad can it break? When authorities asked for his ID, the Miami New Times reports that he reached into his bag and emerged with a taco. When the officer noted that they asked for his ID, not his taco, Faulkner responded by laughing and taking a bite out of his dinner.
All right. Woman drinks wine in front of the cops after crashing her car, from the Palm Beach Post.
No.
A Massachusetts woman took the saying, "Love the wine you're with," too far on Valentine's Day when she continued drinking in front of the officers after crashing her car.
No.
Erin Lynch, 37, allegedly drove over the center line, hitting an oncoming car. When the police officer approached her, he spotted a bottle of wine in a wine glass in the passenger seat of the car. Lynch was charged with operating under the influence. She got out and just kept on drinking.
Florida DUI driver hit 17 cars while trying to park. FHP says. Davenport, Florida. 25-year-old Orlando man was arrested on a DUI charge after he struck only 17 parked cars at an apartment complex in Osceola County. What is wrong with these people? Wouldn't 16 be enough? The Florida Highway Patrol said. This guy's name fits it. Tony Futch was arrested and booked into the Osceola County Jail. Troopers and Futch was driving a blue 2003, no less, Chevy Blazer and struck 17 vehicles in 8 different crashes as he kept trying to park his SUV. Futch, whose license was previously revoked for a DUI in 2013, refused to provide a breath sample.
All right, here's one since we're in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
And I'm the patrol officer.
Here's a Wisconsin 18-year-old was arrested twice in 3 hours.
Oh, jeez.
For operating while intoxicated. Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin. A Wisconsin teen was arrested twice in the span of 3 hours. Police encountered the 18-year-old Wisconsin man at 4:20 a.m. The teen said he was coming home from a graduation party when his vehicle struck the light pole. Officers processed him and for operating with impairment. And he was released to another adult who signed the responsibility agreement not to allow the subject to operate a motor vehicle. At about 7 a.m.,
Yes.
So he's arrested at 4:30.
Yes.
7 a.m., another officer's working traffic detail and recognized the 18-year-old from a previous arrest operating another vehicle.
What is going on?
There you go.
This is coming from Aptos, California. Surprise at the end. Drunk Aptos driver crashes into a sign on the highway. A suspected drunk driver suffered serious injuries when he crashed in his Jeep into a road sign on Highway 1 between Watertonville and Aptos Wednesday morning. However, the sign read, "Report drunk drivers, call 911."
That's the sign?
That's the sign. That's what the sign said.
All right. A OUI suspect claims he was drinking on doctor's orders before running down pedestrian in Springfield sidewalk, records show. A motorist charged with running down an elderly Springfield man in a crosswalk had a blood alcohol level 3 times the illegal limit. The motorist, Clinton Taylor, also had an excuse. He told the police he was drinking on doctor's orders and offered to prove it with a note. Taylor said he struck something in the crosswalk minutes before he returned to see what it was. He was unsure what he had hit, but it was a large object. His speech was slurred, and he admitted drinking a couple of 25-ounce beers earlier. His blood alcohol was measured at 0.28.
Not a problem.
Yeah, more than 3 times the legal limit. At that point, he explained that his doctor had told him to drink alcohol to avoid withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah.
He went on to say that
he'll do it.
He can get his doctor's note to prove it.
Yeah, he'll get about 6 to 9 on that. So I'm just going to recall what today, you know how I love those 911 calls?
Yep.
This one I found today, a woman calls and 911, where's your emergency? I'd like to report a drunk driver.
Oh, yeah.
On the highway. And the cop goes, yes, so you'd like to report a drunk? Yes, I'm the driving all over. Well, really, where is the drunk driver located? Highway 20. And what direction are they headed? East, Waterton. And how do you know this? I'm it. She wanted to come out and arrest her. Couldn't just pull over and stop.
All right, I got one more here.
All right.
Woman drives into ditch.
Yeah.
Says she's dead.
Okay.
And an Alachua woman drove drunkenly into a ditch Wednesday and told police she was dead.
No.
Florida Highway Patrol said. At about 5:26 p.m., Cheryl Ann Morris, 54, crashed her black Dodge. And when troopers asked if she was injured, she said she was dead.
That's a tough one right there.
All right, there you go. That's it for booze. It's a crime.
That is just disheartening when you have all those people that just don't know. We're not done yet. We got a long way to go yet. Long way to go. Long way to go.
Oh, my God.
Good Lord.
Can you imagine that?
I know it.
Yeah.
I know it.
Woman drives into a ditch and claims she's dead.
Well, she will be when she gets home. That is for sure. No question about it.
All right. What else we got here?
We are not done yet on this segment. We are continuing through.
That's why
we got about another 4 or 5 minutes yet to go.
I've got more. I've got more news.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Here's why drinkers should hit the gym.
Okay.
A new study from the United Kingdom suggests that regular exercise can help balance out the harmful effects of alcohol. People in the study who drank alcohol but also exercised on a regular basis were less likely to die from any cause during the study period compared to those who drank but didn't exercise. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you the other thing that they found out. Coffee helps. So if you can just have coffee and booze, you know.
There you go. Now, here's another one. Alcohol See, they should hit the gym.
Right.
Alcohol could decrease risk of certain heart diseases. Did you know that?
Well, let's go with that one.
Okay.
Right.
For decades, health researchers have been finding evidence that moderate alcohol consumption may reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases. But the exact link remains unclear. A new study out in the United Kingdom has advanced the research by breaking down. Boy, they always do these drinking ones.
Yeah.
In the United, all these studies in the United Kingdom.
Weird.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah.
And you were
We found out today.
Your Manchester guys.
Keep going
right?
ahead, because I got a little trivia about United Kingdom later.
Go ahead.
Well, it's one of
Give me
the top 4 places to drink in the world.
Yeah, right.
Kira's doing this quiz. Top 4 places to drink. I said, well, Italy, whatever.
Right.
He goes, no, Great Britain.
Right.
It's one of the top 4. Good guess. We'll be right back, I think, with Beth Toomas of the Bottle Shop. Yep.
Welcome back to Distilleries, Breweries, and Wineries of the World. I'm Michael Stewart, America's #1 wino, and I'm joined by Randy Weckerly with the distillerychannel.com, and this is our tasting room
Yeah, I'm holding on.
segment, and we are joined. We're coming live from the Bottle Shop in downtown Lake Geneva, and we have with us from the Bottle Shop in Lake Geneva, Beth Toomas.
Hi, guys. How are you?
How are you?
It's our new tasting room partner.
Yeah.
This is our Friday night
We had Beth
fond
on our
memories,
we
yeah.
had Beth on our Where to Play Golf show,
Yeah.
which was fun on our 19th hole. Now we have you back for the tasting room.
And she's going to volunteer, too, to come out and do our pairings.
Oh,
On
the
our
pairings,
night,
yeah.
I think so.
We're going to do a whole cooking show.
Won't that be fun?
And that'll be a blast. We'll wine, we'll beer, everything.
I like it.
Huh? You like that? Okay, now you have something that you're going to read for. We're tasting some wines. What are we tasting first right now?
Well, first of all, this is a delicious wine from California. It's a wine called Sexual Chocolate.
Where from California?
Paso Robles.
Okay, because I used to live out in California.
Oh.
All right.
So what happens is people come in here and they look at this bottle and they're like intrigued because you look at it and it doesn't really look pretty, but it does catch your eye.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's handwritten.
Right.
And this is actually the...
Looks like somebody handwritten in pencil.
Well,
Is that the label?
it is the label.
Is it really?
Yeah,
It is.
That's what's
It
weird
is.
about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how this
Okay.
label came about
Okay.
is, if I may share,
Yes.
my friend Brandon, whose phone number is on every bottle,
Yeah.
Oh.
his actual phone number.
Wow.
He was a young college kid, and he was growing up in San Luis Obispo in California.
Right.
And he heard that people were throwing away barrels of wine because they had too much. Well, he's a young, starving college kid, so he kind of freaked out. So he wanted to save the barrel. So what he did is he saved the barrel of wine. Someone gave it to him, probably at a
Right.
little bit of a cost.
Right.
But he started learning how to make wine, and he eventually perfected it for his friends. So what happened
Okay.
was there was restaurants in the area that were looking for wine, and so because they heard his wine was really good. So
Okay.
what he did was they said, we need a label. And he's like, oh, okay. So he was imbibing as we are,
Yeah.
and he sat at the local bar on the napkin.
Yeah.
And this is a replica
Sparing no
of the
expense.
same
And that's
label.
what he wrote?
And this is what he wrote. May
Okay.
I read it to
All
you?
right. Sure, absolutely.
You can try. I was trying to read it, and I can't read his handwriting.
Yeah, the
but
music
go
that
ahead.
we're going to
Yeah.
put behind this is going to be endearing at the end of the show.
Excellent. This bottle originated from a bootlegging operation my buddies and I had in college. We started making wine knowing it would be used for late night drinking, and that the
She has to keep. Beth has to keep twisting the bottle in order to read it. Yeah,
I think she's going to
It's
clean it
funny,
up a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. Go
for
ahead.
late night drinking, and that the French are annoying. It took some time, but we finally perfected our blend and came up with a full-bodied red that pairs well with Wednesday nights and pizza. We use grapes from all over California, so we recommend this be drank immediately and shared with girls. When you want more, just call us, and then Brandon's number is there.
And then the name of the wine is
Well, the name of the wine did not come at the same time as the label.
Yes.
So what happened was these restaurants wanted Brandon's wine, and he wanted to. His production became larger, and he needed to come up with a label.
Right.
The front label on a bottle is not regulated. The back label is.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Okay. So what happens is they needed a name. So did we mention college kids?
Yeah.
Well, that was in there.
Did we mention California?
Yeah. And
So-
pizza.
So what happened was Brandon invited a bunch of his friends over, issued all of them a Sharpie,
Right.
and when they woke up and sobered up in the morning, they looked at the barrel to see who created the best name.
Really?
Sexual Chocolate won.
Who knew? What? How? Wow. How did they ever come up with that? You know?
Sexual Chocolate is a little takeoff or the name of the skit in
Right.
the Eddie Murphy movie
Yeah.
Coming to America.
Yeah.
So that's how this wine evolved.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've actually had Brandon in this very room.
Really?
Yep. I've
Really?
had the pleasure of working with Brandon when I worked
Now,
for
what
a
do you
wine
mean by
distributor.
that?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. So what happened was when I worked for the wine distributor,
Yeah.
Brandon was needing to go and do the dog and pony show
Yeah.
to our customers, and so I took Brandon around, and we had a remarkable day and introduced many people to this wine as well as a few other wines that he makes. So now that I bought the bottle shop, we came here. And he was in town, and I said, of course, I want an event with Brandon. And so he came here and did a beautiful tasting and signing bottles with my customers.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what. So, what price range is this bottle in?
This price range is $28.
That's not that bad.
I also have it in a big bottle for holiday gift giving.
Of course.
14.5%.
I think what we're going to have to do is cut Miss Beth a little room. She's going to be in our new magazine that's coming out. I think we're going to have to put a little special feature in there about this because, you know.
And Brandon is just a remarkable kid.
Yeah.
He just a beautiful person, and I really enjoy
So
him.
does he live in California?
He still does, yeah. And so he also was mentored by David Finney, who is the creator of The Prisoner.
Really? Wow. So is he into acting or anything like that, or what is he doing?
If you go to YouTube
Yeah.
and put in Sexual Chocolate with Brandon,
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for what you see. I'm not
they,
kidding.
And they allow him to be on YouTube yet?
Well,
Yeah.
YouTube has...
Well, we got to call him up.
Yeah.
Brandon's
well,
adorable.
Yeah, we'll have to.
And
we'll have to
please,
call him,
Beth at the Bottle Shop in Lake Geneva.
No, we will have you on air when we call him up.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, yeah, we'll have you on. And we'll have you on at the same call.
We have a question from the audience.
Yeah.
Is that still his number?
That is still his number.
Here's-
Yes, Kira.
Kira, I'm available this Friday night, and I can be there in 3 hours. Not a problem.
Hey, Brian, I'm writing an article
Yeah.
for Links and Libations
You know,
magazine.
I'm the national manager, and I'm going to come and do some research. You know.
I love it.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
give a quick plug to Links and Libations magazine.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Beth is one of our
Because Beth is
major
going to be in
sponsors
it.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but
when does that come out?
coming out in January? And,
First
gonna be able-
edition, January, and then
Yeah.
from then on.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We have a lot of great advertisers.
You
coming
get more
in.
information on thedistillerychannel.com.
Everything that we have seems to be going to the distillerychannel.com. A lot of people.
It all flows.
You know,
it's
it's
like
really
wine.
funny.
It just
So,
flows.
so the
right
magazine's supposed to be about golf and drinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Common denominator.
And when
Yeah.
we talk about recreation now, okay,
Right,
so you
yeah.
got fishing, you got hunting, whatever, RVers. But, you know, you talk about that, and then all of a sudden you say, yeah, we do this other show called Distilleries, Breweries. Oh, yeah, really? That's right. Everybody likes to drink, you know. Who
Wine-
knew, you know?
Wine is the oldest beverage next to
Yeah.
water.
Yeah. No kidding. I know that mead is 9,000 some odd years of, you know, honey production and things like that, but I didn't know how. Well, you know, when back in the time
they
of
used to
Christ,
drink,
as you said, one show back in the time of Christ, they didn't do beer and nuggets. They did,
No,
you know,
they
wine
did.
and,
Beer and wine. You drank that instead of water because it was safer.
yeah, yeah,
You know?
Today, too.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So have you become a sommelier?
Okay.
Not a certified one. I
Yeah.
have one certification called WeSet. However, a certified sommelier not at this point.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how long you've been here. We got about 2 minutes. You're located in
Excellent.
downtown Lake Geneva.
Downtown Lake Geneva. I've been here about a little over 2.5 years.
Yeah.
We offer beer, wine, spirits. We do it in our lounge. Also in the summer when it's nice, we have a beautiful patio you can enjoy. We have wines that you can enjoy here or take home.
This is a beautiful room.
Thank you,
You know,
Michael.
it really is cool.
And it's www.thebottleshopoflakegeneva.com.
There you go.
Thank
you,
you.
Beth.
Cheers.
Thank you, Beth. Cheers.
She's our new